Don't be afraid, for faculty to ask for help.
Some of these things that we consider to be disabilities are different angles.
I think for faculty, definitely having an open mind to being creative, thinking outside of the box.
Learn to empathize. And if you don't have any of, even a little bit of that in you, find it. Find it.
My message to the public to help people understand students with disabilities, there's not a big difference between DSPS students and non-DSPS students. They're people that want to learn, they're people that have goals, they're people that we want to help and we want to teach and we want to get them from, to their educational goals.
I don't think I can really give a description of a typical DSP&S student, because when every student walks through the doors of my classrooms, everyone is pretty much the same. So I have no idea about a DSP&S student unless I get a notice either beforehand or afterwards, but that really doesn't make a bit of a difference. It's how all of my students perform and what they do based on the criteria to what I give to them really determines what their outcome is going to be.
We're all the same. We may be different because of our physical disabilities, but mentally, not all of us are slow. So I would say not to judge a person on how they look, but judge them by their actions.
Often when there's the word disability attached to it, people might have, somewhat negative feel to it, but we don't really think of that as disability is a bad thing anymore, and it's just a difference. It's just they're a little bit different in a way of their learning. They may need completely quiet environment to take exam, which we can't really provide that in our classrooms.
As far as being a DSPS student, the professors, for the most part, the ones who are in the know and who understand what's going on, they will bend over backwards for you. They will definitely accommodate you. As far as the students are concerned, I have to admit, sometimes if they don't know the situation, they tend to maybe get jealous. And that's unfortunate. Sometimes they don't understand, and sometimes, students don't want to tell them the whole story or something. Like, for example, if you get extra time on a test, or if you need to take your test in a different location than the rest of the class, they're wondering, why are you getting special privileges? So that's probably the only barrier that I've come across. But other than that, I think it's been pretty good. They're pretty accepting.
I've had a personal experience in my own life where I had professors that were very willing to be creative, to come up with lots of ways in which they can assist me in being successful. In my own experience, I had my bachelor's degree completed when I got in my accident. But when I returned to school for my master's, that was a whole different experience. And I was quite fortunate to have instructors that were willing to meet with me privately and have an open mind to be creative, different ways that I could be successful.
I can honestly say I've never heard negatives about the procedure, and as a new faculty, when I had my first interpreter, I was skeptical that this could work, and I am still skeptical to a degree that some students have to work extra hard, because when you have the lack of hearing, for example, it's very, very difficult to interpret and get all the essence of what I'm saying. But students can do it with added work and added vigor, and so at least the faculty in biology, they've had lots of students that have needed added help and I've never heard anything bad about it. It's always done with the Mount SAC spirit, so to speak, and it's just been a very good program.
If I were to talk to new faculty members or just fellow faculty members, I would definitely tell them to put a statement on their syllabus that just lets the students aware of DSP&S, where it's at, the extension, and just a general statement, and not have to try to single out students like, you know, do I feel like maybe this student has a learning disability? Should I try to reach out to them? I think just a general statement will make it more comfortable for everyone.
I would try to identify what's making them hesitant. What are you thinking? What are you envisioning? And it's a matter of kind of just modifying their preconceptions on the whole thing. I think that it's, and again, I have a unique, point of view that I can share quickly. I'm an instructor here, and I did all this. I was there, and so it's for me, it's a little bit easier, I think. But typically, identifying what they're thinking and then kind of correcting.
I think the best thing for professors to do in order to help a student who has a disability to succeed is when they're giving a lecture in class and you know they have a disability because their accommodations have already been submitted to you in the beginning of the semester. Look at them, make eye contact with them during lecture and just be like, do you understand? Or you don't have to say like that and like directly look at them, but are you all with me? And look at that person, and you'll be able to know, even though that person's saying yeah, you'll be able to know, hopefully, by the student's face expression, facial expression, like if the student really gets it or they don't.
Well, I think for the student that can use and benefit DSP&S services, it is a shame if they don't, and it is a victory when they do. And I'd like to encourage our students to not be afraid to admit they are weak in an area, because I've come to find that in most people we all have weaknesses in everything. Once we identify them, then we can get stronger with them.